Hello, I'm Stick, and I've been a fan of Sentai for over 15 years, and a Power Ranger fan for over 20. This is my journey to watch all the Sentai series in order up to present day. I figured I'd make a review video to archive my journey. I'm by no means an expert when it comes to Sentai, so apologize for any mistakes and any mispronunciations. Our first series we're going to look into is Himitsu Sentai Gorenger. Originally airing from April 1975 to March 1977, is the longest running Sentai to date with a whopping 84 episodes. With most shows running around the nice 50 episode mark, this was daunting at first. Apparently Gorenger was in the strange area of not being considered a Sentai, as long as with his successor Jack, and wasn't until 1994's Gorenger that it officially, maybe, kind of became the first series. As for the theme song for Gorenger, I really ended up enjoying it, especially the last time they sing Gorenger for some reason. That little melody gets stuck in my head and I can't get it out. Didn't much care for either of the ending theme. Gorenger consists of 5 heroes right off the bat. We have Tsuyoshi Kaijo as the Red Ranger, also known as Aka Ranger. He's the leader. He's kind of always the brains of the operation, so to speak. We have Akira Shinmei as the Blue Ranger, also known as Owl Ranger. He's pretty much always flying the mech, be the Viridine or Varabloom. Then we have Daiata Oiwa as the Yellow Ranger, also known as Key Ranger, who is briefly replaced by Daigoro Kumano. He's comic relief, kinda, so is Daigoro. We'll get there. He eats curry, which, believe it or not, made me want to eat curry for the first time in my life. So I actually went out, bought some Japanese curry mix off Amazon, made curry, and really liked it. It didn't look as good as they make it look in the show, but again, I don't know what I'm doing with that, so that's my fault. And Daigoro eats spaghetti, which is the weird thing. It's like very like sauceless spaghetti too. I don't know, it's a wild thing. Then we have Peggy Matsuyama. She's a Pink Ranger, also known as Momo Ranger. All I can think of really that stands out to me is she's a bomb expert. Anytime there's a bomb, she is the one to defuse it. She's the go-to. And finally, we have Kenji Asuka as the Green Ranger or Mido Ranger. I honestly can't really remember anything outstanding about him character-wise. He's okay. I don't have a problem with him. He's got a couple good episodes when he gets his boomerang upgrade and all that. And the other major recurring characters are their commander, Itagawa Gonpachi, and the two other agents, 008 and 009. They have names, but I cannot for the life of me remember them. And I didn't see them when I looked them up on Wikipedia, so I guess that's my bad. The Gorenger vehicles and mech consist of the motorcycles, the red, blue, and green machines, which are later replaced by the red, blue, and green star cycles. They're pretty cool, I guess. Then they have their all-terrain vehicle, the Veritank. A hot air balloon. Yes, a hot air balloon called the Verikasoon? I'm not sure how they say it. They say it weird in the show. And even looking at it in text, it's weird to me. And they have 2 flying ships. The first of the 2 was the Varabloom, which is then replaced later in the series by the Viridine. The first Sentai to feature a giant robot won't be until Battle Fever J. So we still have some time until the traditional Sentai formula is figured out. Though the Gorengers feature the Gorenger Hurricane, which is their main finisher, and sort of a weapon combination. Initially, it starts as it's a silver soccer ball in the beginning, and they volley it to each other. As that goes, it turns into the ball changes colors as each respective Ranger kicks it or hits it. And then that eventually turns into a football thing. We get more of a rugby toss and punt near the end of the series. It's an interesting thing. Very weird. Each Gorenger also has their own weapon that they sort of pull out of their visor. Red has a whip. Green has a boomerang. Blue is a bow. Yellow has varying weapons that he doesn't really use much. He usually just screams he's a mountain and throws enemies or headbutts them. But just some sort of pole arm weapons. And finally, Pink Ranger has exploding heart earrings and Momo cards that she throws at enemies. Hearing the Blue Ranger scream, "Blow cha!" every time he fires his arrow is absolutely one of the highlights of the series for me. Villain-wise, Gorenger's main villain is the Black Cross Army with the leader, the Führer, who I don't think they quite had fleshed out when the series started, as he went through many changes throughout. He started as just a man in a white sheet, to a white sheet with glowing eyes, and then eventually a strange starfish cross man. It's a weird thing. You never really see his hands either. He has a weird pose. And they also might have changed actors like halfway through or something, because he looks very different to me, unless they did the makeup differently. But he's the most powerful being, the Black Cross Army. Apparently he is some sort of alien being that was from a star near the Cassiopeia constellation and creates the Black Cross Army and their androids. Then comes his general, which is how I would split this series up into arcs, since there isn't all much of an overarching plot to the series. Before the first general shows up, there are monsters of the week. But around episode 15, the first general, Sun Halo Mask, shows up, and honestly, he lasts 5 episodes, and I barely remember him until I looked him up for this review. After that, we get Iron Mask General Temujin, who lasts from episodes 20 to 42. And for some reason, he really made these episodes hard to get through for me. He was never really anything that special until his final battle, and I couldn't get out of my mind that his head just looked like a strange penis to me. He does go out with a bang and manage to destroy the Variabling on his way out, which is pretty cool. Next is Volcano Mask General Magman, who first appears in episode 42. He introduces his underground lair, the Navarum, I think that's how you say it, that is equipped with anti-air turrets and is able to hide underground when it's needed. I actually think he also has a invisible force field around it too. He lasts 12 episodes and destroyed by the Go Hurricane, which turns into an egg that he hard boils on his head and eats it and explodes. Some wild stuff. And finally we get the last general, Commander-in-Chief Golden Mask. I will honestly say I really love the look of Golden Mask with the weird Egyptian aesthetic. I'm not sure if he's somehow brought back to life by the Führer, or if he was just awoken with the Führer's black magic, but nevertheless he's some sort of supernatural being. He lasts from episodes 54 to 84. In the end, he sacrifices himself for the Führer and turns himself to a rainbow that leads to the Gorenger's secret base or something. It's never really explained. It's a wild concept. As for the story, we start out with the Black Cross Army destroying several Eagle bases around Japan. From what I gather, everyone is killed from each of those bases but one person. Those 5 people are then recruited to the Go Ranger program, whose base is hidden in a snack shop called Gone. Here they are given their electronic battle suits to become Go Rangers. The majority of the show is the Black Cross Army going after Eagle scientists to steal their new deadly invention. It's not really always a deadly invention. Sometimes they do make the most dangerous gunpowder and stuff like that, but sometimes they make I'm trying to think. There's a AI robot is one of them to help with dangerous things or figures things out. I can't remember exactly, but they're not always evil, but they use Black Cross Army wants to use them for evil for sure. There never really ends up being that much of an overarching plot line to the series or even that much character development. Each of the heroes will get their own showcase episodes, of course, but you never feel like they grow at all that much. At least to me, they didn't. About halfway through, the Gone Shop gets a makeover, and we learn that Daita, the original Yellow Ranger, was sent away. He ends up being a teacher or a general or something for a different, maybe American branch or something of Eagle. And Daigoro takes his place for 13 episodes. At episode 55. And from here, the series seems to just get better. The episodes get better, the action gets better, and you feel like the characters actually care about each other, whereas before, you didn't really get that. So we're going to get into some spoilers here, so if you'd like to not be spoiled, skip ahead to this time. Okay, so starting with when Daigoro takes over as Key Ranger first, I didn't care for him. Somehow I found Daita very grating in the beginning, but eventually grew to love his carefree personality as we went through the show. It's like they tried to copy Daita's character with Daigoro, but it just wasn't doomed for me. But he slowly kind of turns that around, and when we get to episode 67, where Daigoro gets killed when Can Opener Mask runs his blade through him, This is a fantastic episode, and the ending is really moving when they have the funeral for him. Absolutely one of the highlights for me. So eventually we get to the end of the series. Daigoro is then replaced again with Daita. He comes back for the end of the series for the last 20 so episodes. And we get to the ending here, and it feels kind of rushed. We learn about a horoscope that the Führer has been told. And apparently, as long as the constellation of Cassiopeia hasn't entered the house of Scorpio, whatever the hell that means, the Führer will be his strongest. But when it does, he will be weakened. The strange plot point that's just randomly thrown at the end. Yeah, he decides to fight the Go Rangers this time and utterly destroys them as none of their attacks are able to hurt him. Eventually, I guess the constellation moves so the Führer gets weakened by it. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he turns into just a cross, and they put him in this wild box thing, and Golden Mask steps in to fight the Go Rangers. He's defeated, and in the end, he sacrifices himself to create a rainbow that will tell the Führer where the Go Rangers' secret base is. Again, it never really explains how or why this works. Anyway, the Führer uses this information and destroys Go Rangers' headquarters. Aka Ranger meets with him and shows him a suitcase that has the Cassiopeia constellation in it with lights, and this scares the Führer. So using this information, the Go Rangers are able to weaken him. It's then revealed that the Führer was actually the Black Cross Castle, and the Black Cross Castle is the floating warship they've been using for like the latter half of the series. He was the ship the whole time. Again, confusing. It's a wild turn of events and doesn't make a lot of sense. It's never like hinted at before, as far as I know. The Go Rangers end up sacrificing the Verdine to blow up the Black Cross ship from the inside, and thus killing the Führer. I mean, Sentai's crazy, that's for sure. So that is Go Ranger. It's quite a strange ride. All in all, I found the beginning a little rough to get through. It was very much a product of its time. But once you make it to the second half, you really do start to see something. The show slowly turns into the Sentai we all love and enjoy as it is today. Maybe not quite the extent of where we are now, but the building blocks are there. The series is fun and has some lighthearted moments, even paired with the bleak outlook of a military-based operation. At times you'll feel like it's a slightly mature show, then you'll see a bad guy get killed by a giant bowl of ramen and you'll remember why you love Sentai. Would I recommend you watch this series? Yes, but maybe skim through the first couple generals and just to get the gist of the show and really dig in the latter half around General Magman or even Gold Mask, as the show just gets better, has a better idea it wants to be. Though if you're looking for well choreographed fight scenes, giant robots, or a coherent story, maybe Go Ranger isn't for you. Well, thanks for watching. Next we'll be tackling the shortest Sentai to date, Jak Dengatai.